everyone, it's Alexis here. Welcome back. So for today, we're going to be doing a garden style design here. And I actually opened up this live stream to all of my subscribers here. So there might be quite a few people that join on today, which is perfectly fine. But so today we are going to be doing a garden style design. So each week at 7 p.m. for my Florist Academy students, I go live on Wednesdays. But I thought today I would just open it up to everyone, just so that way people who are thinking about joining the Florist Academy but haven't yet necessarily committed, I thought that this would be like a good way to kind of go over that and show you guys what we do here. So we are going to go live. We're going to do it for everyone today. So if you see some new faces in the chat box today, that's why. So I just want to let you guys know that if you do want to communicate with me, you can comment in the chat box over there, and then I will read your comments as I design and answer any questions that you guys may have. So I'm going to give it about 5 minutes before I start. So at the 5-minute mark here, I'm going to get started, but I'm just going to give an opportunity for some people to hop on. But until then, if you want to just sit tight, you can do that. So just about 5 minutes here, and then I'm going to get started. Let's see. Clippers. About 3 more minutes, guys. 3 more minutes. And then we'll get started. See another person. Yay. It's exciting. All right, give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. All right. Just give it one more minute, guys, and then we'll get started here. I love you too, Amani. All right, looks like this is going to be the crowd for the day. So we are going to get started here. It's been 5 minutes. So hello, welcome to Florist Academy here. I'm so happy to have you guys today. So in our, let me see, not this yeah, in this week's video, we learned how to make a garden style design. So right now we're going to do this live, and I'm going to show you how I make pretty garden style designs. And yeah, so the biggest thing that I really want to touch on today is that it's really hard to make garden style designs using everyday flowers. I find that everyday flowers being like carnations, alstroemeria, like this is liatris, like things that you see on a day-to-day basis. I find that it can be kind of challenging making these garden style designs without having like those really expensive flowers like that ranunculus, that peony. So today we are going to be achieving that look but using everyday flower shop flowers. So that is what we are really going to be doing today. um, so we are going to be arranging this arrangement here in a ceramic vase. So that is what I like to do all my garden style designs in. I find that when I use ceramic containers, the overall arrangement just looks way more high quality. It looks like a designer arrangement. Like it looks really good. So anytime I'm doing a garden style design, I typically opt for a ceramic vase. It's usually just looks a lot nicer, costs a little more. So that's why I like to do it. I also like to use chicken wire here when I'm doing garden style designs. So if you know me and you've seen my videos before, you are aware that I really do not like using floral foam. Floral foam is really toxic to the environment. It's toxic to you. It's toxic to the animals. It just, when it breaks down, like those little particles, it can get into the water. So like when fish breathe it in, it can clog their pores. It can get into our lungs, our respiratory system. So anytime that I have the opportunity to not use floral foam, I don't use floral foam. So a nice eco-friendly, safe option is this chicken wire here. So I really like chicken wire, and I don't make, like, I know some people, they make pillows, like they make like little dome things, and then it kind of looks something like this. For me, I just kind of mold the chicken wire to the shape of the vase, and then I stick it in like that. And then it usually looks something like that when I'm done. So that's how I like to get started with things. Let's see. The last thing I do that's super important that I've seen some florists do and not do, you must fill your vase with water before you do anything. You want your flowers to be able to drink water and to get that fresh water as soon as they touch the vase. So I've seen some videos where people fill up the vase last. Don't do that. Fill up your vase first with water, add your chicken wire, and that's how I like to do it here. I also like to put some tape on the chicken wire to keep it from coming out and from moving too much. So let me grab that tape. But I just use this tape right here. So this is like waterproof florist tape, and it really is like the best thing ever. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create like an X. So one piece going across and the other piece going across like that. And that is just going to help all of the stems and everything from moving around. It's going to help the chicken wire from moving around as well. So I'm going to take that here. Right. And then at the end, you should have something like this. So that's what we're working with today. Hi, Karen. Nice to meet you. So we are seeing some new faces today here in our chat because I opened this live to everyone. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for people to get some knowledge in, and for people to maybe join Florist Academy who've been thinking about it but haven't wanted to commit just yet. So that's why you see some new faces today. But yeah, so this is what we're going to start with. All right. So I'm just going to go over the flowers I'm going to be working with today. So I know in the Florist Academy video for this week, I used like roses, carnations, lisianthus. I am working with some different stuff today. So today we are still working with the carnations. I'm going to be working with the some alstroemeria today. Found this little piece of stock that I thought we would add in. I've got liatris. We got this stuff today. We are going to be working with some of this like homegrown scabiosa, so that's why it's all like crazy looking and stuff, because homegrown stuff tends to like be a little bit more organic and be less I guess perfect, one would say. But so we're going to be using some of this scabiosa here. I've got lots of roses. Oh no. Oh no. I'll have to set them aside. But got lots of roses here. So I've got pink and purple. Pretty. And then our greens today, we're going to be working with Baker fern. It didn't have any pit, which is what we used in the video. But so we've got Baker fern. We've got some of this. I believe this is called palm leaf. Got some of this palm leaf. And I really got to be honest, guys, I do not know what this stuff is called, but I really do like it. It's like soft. It's not lamb's ear and it's not dusty miller. I really don't know what this is, but I do like it, and it kind of looks like this. This is also like homegrown farm stuff, so it is fancy and pretty. All right, guys. So I'm gonna just start with lightly greening my vase here. So what I'm really doing here is I'm just trying to create the shape. So when I'm creating my garden style designs, I like to create an S shape. So I like to have one side come up a little higher and the other side come down a little bit more. So that's just what I like doing it. And yeah, sense. Oh, okay. So Karen just said that she was actually at a conference so I went to a conference in Atlanta, and she said that she has been following me ever since, and she's been using my book. So that makes me so happy. I'm so glad you were able to use it, Karen. Yay. So we're going to get started here, guys. So what I love about Baker fern here is that you can break it up into multiple parts. And that's really how you're going to get your money's worth. So when you're breaking up greens, you want to start from the bottom and work your way up. So we're just going to peel that guy off there. So I'm just going to start from the bottom and start cutting up my greens so that way I have a lot of stem to work with. So I would say like these two guys, these are two separate pieces. And anything that's going to hang or fall, you just want to pick that off there. Okay. All right. So again, just starting from the bottom up. And pre-prepping your greens is going to just help your grab and go process go a lot quicker. Okay. So once I get a healthy amount of greens ready, I'm just going to start adding them to my vase. So I'm going to start creating the shape first. So I'm going to just start by inserting my greens. And whenever you are greening up things, you want to start by greening up the perimeter of the vase first and then work your way in. So Jessica asked, hi, where can we get your book? Thanks for asking, Jessica. So on my website, there's a link where you can get the ebook version. So that's like an ebook that you can like download to your phone or any device. And then you can also go, on my website. So if you go on my website, there's the ebook version. And then I also have the link to the Amazon version. There you can buy either a paperback or a hard copy. So so you can go on my website. So my website is Flowers by Alexis. Ta-da! And I believe there is a Florist Academy section or something like that. And that's there you can find the book. Okay. So once I get a perimeter greened up, I don't like this guy. He's moving around too much. Just going to start lightly greening up the center here. Now, the importance of greening up your vase first is that it's really going to give your flowers a nice base for them to sit in. So they won't move around as much because they'll have like a little bit of greens to kind of catch them. So that'll make your life a lot easier. Okay. So now that I have greened up the perimeter of my vase, I'm going to start building my way out. So I think I'm going to start by using this palm leaf here. So I really want to start creating that like high to low shape for my vase. So I am going to start exaggerating that shape and adding some height on the left side of my vase. Okay. Now, a big thing with all of your arrangements, you really want to make sure all of your arrangements have these 7 principles of floral design. I've heard like seven to 6 principles. Harmony and unity are kind of the same thing, but we're going to go over them real quick. So the 7 principles of floral design, we've got balance, proportion, dominance, harmony, unity, and contrast. So I really like to keep those in mind as I am designing my arrangements. So balance. So we have a nice green balanced over here. So now I kind of need to balance out this side a little bit because there's nothing here. So it's looking a little uneven right now. So to balance out this side, I'm going to take this other piece of green here. I'm just going to insert it. And that's going to help give us that nice shape that we're going for here. I typically like to have and be working with at least 3 different types of greens when I'm doing my garden style designs. I find that the more textures I have, the more interesting it looks, the more organic it looks. The big thing of garden style designs, you want it to look like you just went into your garden and just picked up a bouquet of flowers and put them in a vase. That is how people and my clients and my brides, that's like the number one thing they ask me. They're like, can you make it look like you just picked it up out of your garden and put it in a vase? And I typically know what they mean when they say that, but if you have a client asking for that, that is what they're asking for. They're asking for a garden style. So I'm just gonna add a little bit here. All right. So I think we've got a good start here. I don't want to add too many greens because I do want my flowers to have some space here in the center. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. The other importance of adding in greens is that it really helps hide all of your mechanics. So like that chicken wire, this tape, it's going to hide all that. So at the end, I do go back and I remove all the tape here so you don't see it on the vase. But for right now, we're just going to keep it long so that way when you're arranging, it doesn't get loose. So at the end, we will cut it off. Right now, we're going to keep it. Okay, and I really do think it's very important that you rotate your vase and that you work on all sides so that way you're not just seeing it from one view, because you know you're going to make an arrangement from one view, you're going to turn it around and notice you have a giant bald spot. So it's important to constantly rotate your vase, make sure you're working on all sizes, and that's going to help you. So I'm going to put it up close, but this is what I have right now. So the center is a little hollow still. We don't really have anything there, which is fine. We're going to add flowers there. But I think this is going to give us a nice vase for our flowers to sit in. It's going to make things a lot easier later on. So with my garden style designs, and again, guys, I just want to mention, as florists, we do everything differently. I don't do my arrangements the same way Natalie does her arrangements, the same way that Tony does his arrangements. We all do things differently. This is how I do my designs here. So I like to have my focal points be the center of my arrangement, and then everything just kind of draws your eye towards the center. So when I'm building that center point, I like to make sure each side are balanced, but I really want your eye to draw towards the center of the arrangement here. So to do that, I'm going to start by adding my focal flowers first. So I'm going to say that my roses here, these are going to be my focal flower for the day. So what I'm going to do here is I just like clustering things in groups of 2s, 3s, 5s, 7s. I know 2 isn't an odd number, but I like working in odd numbers. I find that that typically looks the best when designing. So I am just going to group together these purple roses here. And I'm going to start by adding them closer to like the lip of the vase first and then like build my way out. So I'm going to add a rose there. And then just right on top of that rose, I'm going to just add another one right here. And something I want to point out, if you're trying to measure the height of the rose, you want to figure out like how tall to make something, you're going to take your stem, you're going to measure to the height of the vase here. So I'm like, okay, if I want my blooms to sit like right about here, I know I need to measure to the edge of the table. And I know I need to cut off at least this much if I want my flowers to sit right here. So it's a lot of measuring. It's a lot of making sure things look good. It's a lot of eyeballing, but overall, it's probably the best advice I can give you right now. Okay. So we've got our clusters here. I think I'm going to add a pink rose, maybe like right. The big thing with floral design is that, I always am just kind of like looking around, seeing where my empty spaces are. So I think I'm going to cluster one right there. Right, so we've got a nice cluster of roses here. Now, what I like to do on one side, I like to mirror and do to the other side. So I've got roses on this side of my arrangement. I'm going to turn it around and add some roses on this side. A little shorter. Now, what I absolutely love about chicken wire is that you can take things out, you can reinsert them, and it doesn't mess up the base. What I mean by that is when you're working with floral foam, I'm trying to see if there's a piece out here that I can show you with. I don't see any pieces, but when you're working with floral foam, a lot of the times when you're inserting things, and you insert things in the floral foam, you start creating holes in the foam. When you create holes in the foam gets weaker over time. So it's best when you are working with floral foam and things like that to just insert it, be done, and don't touch it. But with chicken wire, you can insert things, I can take things out, and I really do enjoy that because, I don't know, I'm really indecisive. I like to change things around and make it so that way things are different and not always in the same spot. So that is the good thing with chicken wire here, is that we have the opportunity to actually do that. So this is what we've got so far here. So we've got a nice like center started here. This is going to give us like a nice base for our flowers to go. So that's what we've got. So now I'm going to start creating my shape of my design with my flowers. So like I said before, I like to have like a high point and then a low point. So today we're going to be working with this Flyatris here. And this is considered a line flower. So these types of flowers, any flowers that grow like straight up and down are considered line flowers. And these are the flowers that you use to help shape your arrangement, to help give it that shape and stuff. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to just kind of create my lines going up. So I'm just going to start inserting. And again, guys, if you guys have any questions at all at any point, you guys can ask me in the chat box right here, and I will answer them as I go along. And again, I'm just going to be grouping things in 2s and 3s, but for these guys, I think I'm going to just group them in 2s because they're so heavy. Now, I do realize some of you guys are actually arranging with me, like my Florist Academy students. I know you guys are designing along with me. So if I'm going too fast, too slow, let me know and I will speed it up or slow it down here. But yeah, these need to be more on an angle. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Perfect. Okay. So now I feel like I've got all these flowers on this side and I don't really have anything right here. So I'm going to start adding in some blooms on this side to help give it that balance that we're looking for. So I'm going to rotate this so that way you guys can see. Now, I would consider stock, this is stock, I would consider this to be a lime flower because it has blooms growing down the stem. So we have flowers on this side, now I'm going to just balance out this side. I'm going to use the stock here. I'm going to balance out this side. Perfect. This is what we got right here. I like my arrangements to look pretty all the way around. Some people design one-sided, so just like the one side of the arrangement looks good. But I like to make sure it looks good all the way around. I also think this is really good practice to make sure that things look good all the way around because, you know, as you are designing, like if you're doing a wedding or something and this is like a centerpiece for a table, you would want this arrangement to look good all the way around because there's people sitting all the way around the table. So I think it's good practice to just rotate your vase, you know, really make sure it looks good on all sides. So that is my tip to you. Perfect. So let's see what I have left here. So I've got some of this, what is this called? Alstroemeria here. And I'm going to just start adding things closer towards the center of my vase here because I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but on camera it's a little bare right here, like there's really just nothing there. So to help hide my mechanics being like the chicken wire and the tape, I'm going to just start adding things just a little bit closer to the center right there. So I've got like this big gap right here. So I think adding a bloom right there to just hide that ugly is really going to help. Okay. And again, guys, what I do to one side, I'm just going to mirror and do to another. So I added my Alstroemeria on this side, so now I'm going to rotate my vase here. I'm just going to add some Alstroemeria on this side too. Alrighty. Beautiful. So that is what it looks like here. This is what we've got. Now we have our carnations. So I really like carnations because they're really long lasting, they fill in the spots, and it looks good. So that's what we're going to be using. So I'm going to start with these green carnations first. And just like we did before, I'm just going to continue to cluster things and continue to build my arrangement out. So anywhere I see holes and space, like I see a really big hole right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I've got a big hole there. So I'm just going to fill it with a carnation. Now I like the center of my arrangement to be like low and recessed and everything kind of firework out like that. So I'm just going to add a carnation just to hide that area. And that really made a difference here. So I still feel like this side of my arrangement is like, it's a little bit heavier than this side. So I'm going to just balance that out a little bit and just add a carnation, just kind of coming out a little bit to help with that side of my arrangement as well. And that's going to really help balance things. Okay. So wherever my eye stops is typically where I add a flower. So let's see, my eye is stopping. This little guy doesn't want to stay up. If you ever feel like your flowers aren't staying where they need to be, you might just need to reinsert them. The holes in the chicken wire are about that big. So like any little stem, it's probably going to flop around a little bit. So if you feel like things are just moving around too much, you just got to pick it up and reinsert into a different hole there. So I am finding that my eye is stopping like right here. I don't have any flowers right here. And like I said before, I want my arrangement to look good on all angles and all sides. No matter where you sit on the table, I want to make sure that it's looking real good. So we've created a little bit of interest by adding a bloom there. So now it's not so bare, it's not so boring. Cool. So I've got some yellow carnations, but I don't think I'm gonna add them in because I feel like they're just a little bit too different than what we've already been working with. All right. So last but not least here, I like adding in my wispy flowers. I like adding in these last. So the benefit of adding these wispy flowers in last is that they're very delicate. And a lot of the times when you are adding these things in first, they get broken because of how delicate these stems are. So I always just like to add my wispy flowers in last. This also, to me, is like the key point of making any garden style design is having like a nice wispy, airy flower. So I'm gonna add these in last here. And what I really like to do is I like to see what way they fall naturally. So for me, I feel like this guy kind of naturally leans toward the left a little bit. So I'm just going to add him towards the left of my arrangement. And I think that adding him like over here is also going to help balance out this heavy side over here just because this Biatris is really heavy. And we really want to keep in mind our principles of floral design as we work. So I want to add him like here. And he's just going to help balance out that side over here. And I feel like just adding in the wispy flowers really does help elevate the arrangement, and it helps make the arrangement look a lot more quality. It looks more like a Pinterest arrangement when you have these like little wispy, airy flowers coming out. So that is my biggest tip to you. So this guy, I'm going to break him up into multiple parts because there's so many stems on this one guy. And I don't know, he's kind of naturally leaning towards this way, but I think I'm gonna see where he falls. So we rotate the vase here. And you see how this has like this little hook piece right there? I'm probably just gonna cut this off just because when I'm inserting this into my holes, like that's gonna get caught and that's gonna be really hard to maneuver later. So I'm just gonna cut that guy off there. Okay. Gonna add him over here. Oh, it's so pretty. I also want to mention that all of my stems are touching the bottom of the vase. You want to make sure everything is getting water, so the more it touches the bottom of the vase here, the better. If your stems are touching like the side of the vase or they're not touching the bottom, as this arrangement drinks water, the water level is going to go down, so your arrangement is going to stop getting water if the stems are up too high. So making sure all your stems are touching the bottom of the vase is very important. I've got this last piece here, but I don't necessarily use all the pieces. Sometimes I leave some out, but let's see. Let's see if he makes sense. So I would say grouping is going to be your best friend. Yeah, grouping all like things together is really going to help give you that signature look that you're going for, like that garden style look. It's really going to help you. Like that there. That's I really love chicken wire because you can pull things out, you can decide you don't want it there, and it's not going to break your arrangement, which is lovely. I think I like him there. So I would say this is done. Like, this is done. We're just making a simple garden style design today, guys. This isn't anything extravagant, nothing too crazy. So that is what I do here. So the biggest thing that I think you should take away here is that when you are making garden style designs, it's important to have these wispy flowers. These wispy flowers are going to give you that key signature look that you're going for. I also recommend having at least 3 different types of greens and foliage you want to make sure you have lots of textures in your design. More texture, the better. That's going to help give it like that signature garden style kind of look. Oh, you know what I forgot? The tape. So we're just going to take the tape here. I'm just going to pull it off. I do just leave like just a teeny little bit on because I don't want my tape to show too much. But we're just going to take it and we're just going to snip it off. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but I just left like a teeny little bit. Very, very tiny. But other than that, this is a done arrangement. So if you guys have any questions, now is the time to ask. Any questions at all? I'm gonna just take off my tape. I'm gonna see if you guys ask any questions. Oh, thank you. Jessica said it was pretty, and so did Karen. Thank you guys. Thanks for hopping on today. Any questions? You guys have any feedback? Anything that I maybe went too fast that you want more clarification on, or anything like that at all? Let's see. So I think, let's see. So how much would an arrangement like this cost? So when you're pricing something like this out, you also want to keep in mind and consider the price of the container as well. So this container cost me $5 at wholesale price. And when you are trying to find the price of your arrangement, you always want to multiply your hard goods by at least 2. You can do 3. And if you live in like California or like a really high rise area like New York or something, I would recommend doing at least 3, like a 3 times markup. But so this this vase cost me $5 at wholesale price. I'm going to multiply that by 2, and this is going to be a $10 vase. So just the vase alone cost me $10. Roses in my area at wholesale price, they cost like $1.25. And then at retail price, you're going to multiply your flowers by 3. If you live in more expensive areas, you're going to multiply anywhere from like 4 to 5. But in the area I live in, I multiply by 3. So I believe, let me see, 375, I think. I'm really bad at math. I'm not good at mental math. I always have a calculator. But so $3.75 per rose. So if you ever wanting to just like quickly price something out, I always just kind of like add up all the roses that I see, and then I multiply them by 2, because typically what is in the front of the arrangement is also in the back of the arrangement. So if I see 3 roses up front, I'm also going to assume that there's 3 roses on the other side as well. So if you're ever just looking at a picture and a bride is like, how much is this? You can quickly just look at it and be like, okay, so this is 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, yeah, 12, 15, 18. So right there, you're already at $18 in roses. Liatris is about like $3 a stem. So 3, so that's 6. So overall, I would say this arrangement with with everything in total, this is going to be like $100. And I know it might seem like it's not, but it's honestly like these roses, they cost a lot. You also want to consider like a labor fee. Do you charge a delivery fee? Oh yeah. So we charge delivery fees. There's a labor fee. If this was like for a wedding or an event, I would charge like a setup fee. But yeah, so that is how much something like this would cost. And I feel like you also can get away with pricing something like this to $100 because of the container that it's in. I feel like if this was in like a clear container, I probably wouldn't pay $100 for it just because it doesn't look as quality. But the quality of this container makes it a lot better. So the good thing is that you can reuse these containers and you can put like jewelry in them. You can reuse them and put, I don't know, whatever people put vases in. But so that is what I like to do here. Let's see, what else would I say to you? Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. But got a couple more minutes here if you guys have any questions you want to ask me or anything at all. So this live session I did open up to all of the world of YouTube. So this is like a live session for the public. So next week's live session will be specifically for my Florist Academy members like usual. But I thought this would be a good opportunity for the people who haven't joined and maybe thinking about joining. I thought this would be a good opportunity for you guys to see what we do here every Wednesday. So this week we learned how to do garden style design. So for my Florist Academy students for next week, we are going to make a tropical arrangement. So I've got some really cool blooms coming in for that, and I'm really excited for that. So hopefully that'll be fun for you guys. But so we're making a tropical arrangement next week, so you guys can count on that video. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here then. If you guys don't have any questions, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So I'm gonna leave this playback here video on my YouTube so you guys can rewatch it and do that anytime. So that's good. So it's not going to go away forever or anything like that. So you can rewatch this video, which is awesome. But other than that, I think I'm gonna go home. I miss my dog. So you guys have a really good night. If you guys still have questions that I didn't answer and you think of something afterwards, you can email me, and I'll leave my email in the description box there, so you can email me after. But yeah, thank you so much for joining and taking the time out of your evening to make this arrangement with me. I hope you learned a lot. I'm so grateful for all of you guys who joined here today. I got some really good feedback, and that was really fun. So hope to see you guys in next week's live session for my Academy students. And for those of you who have not yet joined, you should join. I'd love to have you there. So have a good night, guys. Oh, she said thank you. You're welcome. Good night, guys. Have a good one. Bye.